Hey everyone, Wanderbot here, and welcome to probably one of the more strange incremental games I've found so far. This is Leaf Blower Revolution, which is it's actually it's very much the picture of oddly satisfying, just based on what I'm seeing. Because effectively what I'm doing is just blowing leaves off of this yard and getting small amounts of currency. So how the heck do I buy anything? One? Ah, here we go. Tools. Your hands. Equipped. Rake? Sure. Okay, what is this? Gold leaves. Spawn more trees. Let's just get a bunch of trees and fertilizer. There we go. So now we just get even more leaves. Why not? Oh no, the leaf blowers. Well, I don't have a leaf blower yet. We'll get there. So it's equal parts an idle and incremental game. I mean, obviously, big number go up. But after a certain point, you can automate it, so you don't actually have to be blowing leaves yourself. Frankly, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Let's see. So what else can I get? Auto leaf blower. Nuclear fuel to your tools for more blowing power. Or 1 leaf per level by using advanced marketing techniques. Let's grab that. And I don't know, more trees and fertilizer. Okay, so that, yep, doubles my income. Perfect. Cannot believe this game. Ha. Can a little bit. Ah, there we go. I'll be honest though, that leaf symbol totally looks like a weed, like, just it looks like weed, it looks like a leaf of weed. No, there's totally got to be a terminology for what the leaf is. I know nothing about weed, to be honest. Okay, let's grab this. Let's just get a bunch of nuclear fuel. Do I want to get a couple of autos? Maybe. Oh, does it just kind of sit there and blow? Oh no, it's a Roomba. I've got a leaf blower Roomba. Sure. Yes, those in the manual tool of the rake. Yes, and then I can go up to the bigger, larger leaf rake, and then even bigger. Oh, looks like the Roomba runs out of juice pretty quick, but boy, this thing fires. Who needs the Roomba when you've got big rake? Let's see. Are you in a legal weed state? Oh yeah. I live in Portland, Oregon, which is pretty much as legal as you can get. I think Colorado beats it out. Maybe Washington, but there are more weed stores around where I live than most other stores. And I've never set foot in a single one of them. I'm just not interested in it. I have too much time, and being impaired is an inconvenience. Or, I have too much time. I have too much to do in such a short period of time, and being impaired just means I can't get it done, ish. Let's see. State or the capital? Well, I mean, I'm not in Portland, and Portland's not actually the capital of Oregon either. But still, okay. So what can I buy? I mean, honestly, buy max for fertilizer and trees. Because we need more leaves, that's the problem. Wonder if there's any good, like, tower defense incremental games. I know there's a couple that I've eyeballed along the way, but it'd be really interesting to actually have to buy enemies' spawners to send more at you. Ah, it just makes me want to play Hero Line Wars again. I miss those games. There was something really beautiful about the StarCraft arcade era. Okay, do we want to save up and grab another leaf marketing? Yeah, let's do it. See, Gemcraft is incremental-ish. Yeah, it is. It takes a lot more effort to get up there, but it definitely does kind of count. I played that recently, though, and I should probably give it another shot. Just kind of here and there, but man, busy. Okay. Maybe I buy multiple trees. Because I want to increase my income, but I'm currently just suffering a dearth of leaves. It is... how do I describe this? it's oddly satisfying, but I'm definitely impatient. I'm wanting more leaves to fall faster. I'm sure it probably gets a lot more nonsensical as we go along. It's this game. I remember you playing it a long time ago. Actually, I've never played this before. You might be mistaking me for somebody else. I pretty much obstinately stayed away from incremental games for a very, very long period of time, because they all felt like time wasters to me. But I'm realizing that there's kind of a depth of mechanics here that you miss if you're looking for it. I also want to say this is kind of like my anti-Elden Ring. I don't want to say I'm like grumpus for Elden Ring's existence, but that is a very involved game. And I've been playing a little bit here and there on my own, and it's very much like, oh boy, this game is just like kicking my ass 7 ways to Tuesday. I think I need to explore more. I was trying to fight Margaret, or whatever his name is. Let's see. How do I get access to these things? Journey begins. Well, it's that time of year again. The leaves are starting to fill up the yard, so I've been out there getting rid of what I can. It's the strangest thing, though. The more leaves I seem to get rid of, the more I find the next time. And while this itself is perplexing, I'm more bewildered that I find the work enchanting in some way. They're just leaves, nothing special about them at all, and yet I can't seem to pull myself away from clearing them. I guess I can just go up here. Oh, I can grab a red gem, whatever that does. Okay, claim all? Time played. Alright, so there's achievements to keep in mind. There's skins. Ah, so that can be a different thing. Angels, demons, super leaf, fairies. Things get expensive, though. Really quick. Is there some... Aha! So I can also be a Roomba man. I could be a bee, a bird, a flask, a leaf blower, ace of spades, fruit planter, or printer, gold leaf, a borb, a Christmas borb, or cursed cheese. We're going with borb. Sweet. That's it. I missed the Kirby demo. Nope, I haven't gotten to it yet. That's probably gonna be after this, unless I do something else. Grab some leaf marketing. And then probably just more leaf growth. Borb. We are a borb. Cool. There we go. But yeah, how was I gonna how would I describe this? I didn't want to stream Elden Ring because I knew I'd never be able to finish it on time and it would dominate every single stream for forever. And so I figured I'd find something else that is just as addictive instead, but that I can tear myself away from because the mechanics aren't as pressing. Yeah, I could stop playing Realm Grinder tomorrow and I think most people would understand. But if I stop playing Elden Ring, people are like, no, but you gotta get to this boss and do this thing, and I'm like, no. Shout out to Elden Ring, though. Great game. Let's see, what do we do? Leaf blower, more trees? I feel like we just need more trees. More trees, more leaves. Let's see, what's next? 5k for the next thing along the way. Elden Ring, who needs Elden Ring when you have a virtual leaf blower? Reminds me of when I was a kid. My parents were always like, you don't need the latest game. Go back and play some more battle tanks. And my brother and I would do so generally gladly. Kind of like, oh man, you know those like off-brand Game Boys that were kind of the rage to sell to grandparents that didn't understand? So you get like, instead of Pokemon, you get Mokapon, and it would just be really cursed. And like fall apart in your hands and probably be made out of pure toxic materials or something like that. But it costs half as much as the Game Boy and Pokemon, so, you know, older relatives not understanding the difference would just pick those up instead. Like, that's what I'm doing to myself, except for it's completely different. I guess a lot of Souls-likes kind of end up fitting that bill, now that I'm thinking about it. Let's see, I still haven't heard of a person who had the same journey in Elden Ring. If I wasn't moving in like 3 weeks, less than 3 weeks in fact, I probably would have just succumbed as well. Maybe I'll get back to it, or maybe I'll just do other things. Because chances are by the time Elden Ring is out... Oh, you know, actually, now that I think about it, Stranger in Paradise is coming out, like, the week I leave. I'm looking forward to that, but I'm probably going to be alternating between furiously throwing boxes into, like, my U-Haul containers, and then playing as much of that game as I can fit in, because much as I like Elden Ring, I'm here to kill chaos. The week you leave... Ah! It's pain. Ah, leaf marketing is expensive. No, let's grab a leaf blower. Which actually just seems to be a bigger AoE. I was really hoping I'd have like a cone of air that would come out of me, but at the same time... It's interesting that the leaves spawn in at kind of a tick rate, as opposed to kind of consistently. And when you have a bunch of leaves on the screen, it's not as much of a problem, but when you have no leaves on screen, then it is big... Well, it's not really a big problem, it just looks silly. I guess I'm glad I'm not making, doing Foley work for this game. I'd probably lose all self-respect. Okay, what can I buy? More tree? More tree. And some nuclear fuel. Because I think that increases my range, which also, like, that's a little disturbing. Oh, we have more lore. The leaf blower. I had to make a run to the store. I realized that just bagging leaves by hand, or a small hand rake, wasn't going to cut it, so I went and bought a small leaf blower. Really does the trick. I also saw the store was having a special on a new gadget, the automatic leaf blower, or ALB for short. Figured I'd try them out, seeing as I can never quite get all the leaves. Okay. And leaf blower. So many leaves. Okay, what else do we have here? Let's see, more fertilizer. 1% faster per level. Ugh, it's slow. Maybe we save up for gold leaves at this point. 10k? It's gonna take a little bit, but it's not the end of the world. Talking about trying to emulate plug-and-play games? Oh boy. I mean, I bet if you could figure out how to get the program off of it, it's very easy to maybe emulate those. It's just nobody has ever been possessed of the desire to emulate a plug-and-play game. Maybe if it has like weird hardware, maybe not so much so, but I bet some really enterprising computer engineer could totally figure out how to emulate one of those. But, like, also why? Why would anybody ever do that? Plug and play like Pong? Yeah, kind of. I mean, I'm thinking of, like, the Jurassic Park one where you're just flying along and trying to dodge... Or you're flying, or are you in a Jeep and you're trying to dodge pterodactyls or something? It's the weed leaf in the bottom left corner. That's the upgrades. See, I'm not the only one that sees them as weed leaves. I was wondering how you could stream those things. That would be nothing short of really funny. Just from the perspective of, you know, I start, you know, the indie game market slows down a little bit, so I just start scraping the bottom of the barrel as hard as I possibly can. My biggest gripe with this game, when Nick played it, was they don't expand your yard, so your automation doesn't really speed up the growth curve. Yeah, I think the automation is mostly just there so you can leave it running. I think automation and active play are not synergistic. It's really one or the other. Like, I'll probably get the Roombas just because, but still. So do capture cards even do composite nowadays? You'd have to get an adapter cable, composite to HDMI, and even then, it's doable, but it's not viable. I have one of my old capture cards that I've kept around that can do composite, but my... I don't know. My interest in doing so is limited. Yesterday I put out a video on Shadow Complex, which is actually one of the better Metroidvanias I've ever played. But as far as YouTube was concerned, it was a complete non-game, like non-starter. I'd have to go back and take another look at the video and see if it's gotten like a second wind or anything like that. But I've noticed the algorithm has changed recently pretty heavily in a lot of ways, where you know, it's much more aggressively it's much more aggressive about effectively killing a video's momentum. So if it doesn't think that a video is going to do well, it's just like, nope, it's dead, goodbye. Don't make another video like this. And you'll even get like a notification from YouTube being like, are you sure you want to make videos of this variety? It's not quite that. It's like, boy, your views suck. And so from my perspective, there's that kind of like enduring like, let's see, do I want to get another auto? Nah, let's save up. What can we get out of this? Platinum leaves, leaf portal, where you can restart your leaf blowing adventure to gain coins. What? Spawn more trees, more fertilizers. Golden marketing, more auto leaf blowers, max combo level. What? Okay. But yeah, that seems kind of shitty. It's not a good feeling. And so for a while, I just kind of pushed forward as far as like analytics went and just said like, whatever, people will still watch my series. But it very quickly became obvious that I was like putting in 10-hour days constantly just to be able to keep my job. And I was like, this isn't working. I need to do something else. Let's see. Let's grab the tree one. I wonder if there's a way that I can see how many trees I have. I have no idea. Okay, don't be afraid to buy the portal. It's, it just gives you the option. I'll probably still wait until I'm ready to start over, though, just because. Wait, sorry, nuclear power leaf blower? Yeah, nuclear, not nuclear. I think I say nuclear, but I always have to catch myself. Freaking Bush just ruined my brain as a child. I heard him say it too much, so I was just like, alright, it's nuclear. And then somebody's like, it's not. And I'm like, damn it. Why must I be led astray by the adults in my lives? Lives. Oh boy. That's a reveal. No. Now I do it intentionally just to mess with people. Debris. Corpse. Trying to think of other ones. I still have people that, like, harangue me for my own dialect, which always amuses me to no end. Really wonder by what metric YouTube measures things like that. You're by far not one of the smaller variety gaming channels. It's a couple of things. So YouTube judges most videos based on click-through ratio and watch time. So if, for example, you put out a video and people watch 30 minutes of it, and it's like a 45-minute video, your retention is huge. And YouTube is like, holy shit, if we can get this in front of people that are interested in it, they'll watch the whole thing. We want to keep that around. Because ultimately, YouTube wants to keep you on the platform for as long as possible. And so the entire premise of how it works is a little dark, honestly, but it's very much just to force you to be on there as much as possible, as much as humanly possible. Force you, keep you interested. It's kind of like how, you know, Twitter and Reddit and whatnot will just kind of keep you scrolling endlessly, and then scrolling by ads along the way. And it's in their best interest to keep you on the platform. So, for example, if somebody's trying to link to their webcomic, you know, Twitter is actively going to suppress that link because Twitter doesn't want you to go to that webcomic link, because that means you're not on Twitter anymore. And so, you know, if you're trying to show off a product that you made or something like that, if it can be integrated into Twitter somehow, so if it's just an image posted, then they'll, you know, maybe not promote it, but it'll be there. It will not be actively suppressed at the very least. And yeah, they get money when people see ads on their service. Like, it makes sense for why they do what they do, but it ends up feeling kind of heinous in that situation. Let's see. What do we want to do? More trees? Spawns one more leaf tree per step. Is that just kind of in... Okay, so it's not a synergy bonus between the different tree upgrades. It's just I can spend golden leaves to buy more trees overall. It's still worth it. Let's see. What was the question? Do you feel it heavy to stream daily? I get very agitated if I stream daily for a week, like 12 hours a day for a week. Oh god, no. I used to do that. I used to do like 10 to 14 hour days. And then I realized that like I was losing my adult life to being in front of a computer streaming. You know, I'm gonna be 32 in a couple of months. And I don't want to say that like it's necessarily heinous to spend that much time. It kind of is. It's up to you like what you want to do with yourself. But I was starting to feel really unsatisfied, especially after the especially after lockdown. You know, the idea of being stuck indoors for 2 years itself is kind of rough, but when it's 2 years doing the exact same thing day in, day out, it gets really uncomfortable in a not good way. And so, yeah, when I'd wake up, drag myself to the shower, eat, stream, get a quick snack in the middle of it, keep streaming for a while, maybe have dinner because Shell got me something, and then I'd end my stream and maybe have about like 2 hours at the end of every day to get stuff done. It felt rough. In a fairly negative way, where I was just like, there's nothing to my life apart from streaming. And right now, there's still not much to my life apart from streaming and recording, because that's all I've been able to do, because I have to prep to move across the country, because you know, with Twitch, you can't stream at all during a trip like that. With YouTube, you can at least have a backlog, and so I want to make sure I have the backlog along the way. But I will say, from the perspective of streaming long hours, it's not actually a good idea. That the longer you are streaming, the more people have a chance to find your channel and watch your stream and potentially stick around and do whatever. Like, there is a benefit to being on the platform as much as possible. However, the negatives are you are going to burn out physically, mentally, and emotionally, and you're going to start getting snappier. Things are going to bother you more. You're going to resent things, and if you have a bad month, it really messes with you. Because, boy, you know, going back to the Shadow Complex thing, you know, I didn't mind too much because I enjoyed the process of recording the video. But, you know, I can't speak to how many viewers you have when you stream, but say if I'm streaming 12 hours a day and my viewer count is only going down over the course of it, you know, it really feels like, what is even the point of me doing this? And so I was having that problem for most of 2021 with YouTube specifically, and a little bit of Twitch. With Twitch, it was my view counts were fine, but my internet wasn't working half the time, and so I was like trying to get it working, and I just couldn't. You know, I could keep doing YouTube normally, but there was a period of like most of October where I couldn't stream. It was actually quite pleasant because I still had to record, but I could like freely get up and walk off and, you know, do whatever I want for half an hour between sessions, which was nice. Whereas here I'm locked to it for a while. And it's easier when you can have that break to separate yourself away from the numbers a little bit. But if you're spending, all of your waking hours doing something that is fundamentally kind of unrewarding, it just ends up feeling like, what am I doing with myself? Let's see. What was it? Where's my thought process with the rest of this one? It's gone. Comes here and go. Okay. Grab some leaf marketing. Can I do golden marketing? No, we're still a fair way off of that. Which is rough, because I could actually use the extra golden leaves. Let's just buy as much fertilizer as I can. You could add, so you could add some small breaks during the stream, 5 minutes, get up, stretch, get some water. So, this is actually, while you are correct that I could start doing that, the problem is, once again, the platform itself does not support that. Imagine watching like a television station and, like if you guys ever watched like a television station and you had to switch away from it because the ads were so much, and it's like you don't really want to watch 20 minutes of a show and then 6 minutes of ads. That's like a 1 to 3 ratio, 1 to 3.5, give or take. And like, it just doesn't feel good. And so if I step away for like 5 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever, I lose like a chunk of viewership. And, you know, to some degree, you have to kind of make the mental math on all of that stuff of like, is this worth it? Is it worth losing potentially a chunk of viewership, just to go eat for a little while? Or if I just had like a small granola bar where I could just kind of hang out and chat with folks while I'm nibbling, so I potentially lose less. It's rough because there's no good answer. It's how much are you willing to give up as a content creator in favor of potentially making your channel larger. And oftentimes the lizard brain reaction is just to sacrifice as much as possible, because if you can just sacrifice that little bit more, grow that little bit more, then you can cut back at some point. But the problem is, what you realize is that so much of your growth is predicated almost entirely on time investment and volume, and almost none of it is actually, you know, based on quality or just intrinsic growth. So the idea of streaming for 12 hours a day is actually like painful to even conceive of, because I realize that it's not worth it. You know, if you look at my YouTube channel for 2020, I was putting out like 6 to 10 videos a day, and now I'm down to 4 maybe. And oddly enough, you know, my channel's viewership hasn't really changed that much. From a Twitch streaming perspective, I've cut down by at least 30% as well. And my viewership is, I mean, very heavily dependent on game. So for example, I was streaming Realm Grinder for 170 people, and then I've switched over to this for 200 and whatever. So there's kind of that baseline math of like, well, people are interested in this. But I think the answer is people are interested in the immediate novelty of this, and there's kind of a connection to, you know, I'm a little bit more animated and focused on a conversational topic that might be kind of fun to listen to. But that on an enduring level, people are probably not going to want to stick around for like too much more of this. Let's grab a couple of these. Let's go back to this. Gold fertilizer. Do I want to go for gold marketing and just keep saving up for it? It's kind of tempting. Because I don't... maybe. Now let's just buy as much as we can. The more leaves I can get, the better. Let's see. Brain's starting to shut itself down. Let's see. Once you've done the Kirby demo, will it go on YouTube? Yeah, it'll go on YouTube tomorrow. Let's see. Instead of a Twitch plays game for a break. I mean, there's a lot of things that I could do, but I've been thinking about this for a while. Going back to the cutting down on YouTube thing, that like, yeah, I was doing 6 to 10 videos a day, and I was getting a decent amount of viewership, but it wasn't giving me any room for anything special. That I was just playing game and relying on commentary and consistency to carry me forward, which, I mean, is actually still a good way of doing it, but I have a lot of extra skills, passions, talents, and hobbies that I'd love to also further, if that makes sense. And so the idea of locking myself to spending all of my time on just this one thing is kind of like, oh, I'm kind of wasting myself on this. And so, sure, there's a lot of things that I could do to take a break to keep streaming as much as I do, but have the impact be less. But I think it would be better that I stream less, but have the impact be better. And so one of the easiest ways for me to do that is to focus on some other shows, for better or worse, just because it'll make me feel better and healthier. So I talk often about a cooking show, and I'm pretty sure it's going to do trash. You know, a number of people are going to be interested in the idea of it, but on a fundamental level, you know, somehow it's not going to pay off on YouTube. But eventually it will, if you kind of keep working at it, upping the quality and figure out what works and what doesn't. And that, you know, I'd much rather my streams become not a special event, but a not just this obligation where I have to stream for X amount of hours a day, but I stream something cool. So going back to me talking about Elden Ring, you know, the idea of that being a 100-hour plus game is terrifying, because if you want to stream the entirety of Elden Ring, you're there for at least 2 weeks, maybe way more. And that's kind of big scary, because 2 weeks is a lot. Like, 2 weeks is a lot to spend on anything. I've spent the last year, I guess outside of streaming, just kind of relaxing, playing Final Fantasy, and like, cumulatively, I think I've lost 24 days of like playing that game. Admittedly, some of that was idle, or working on stuff that wasn't the main story, but it took me effectively 24 days to finish the main story of Final Fantasy XIV, from start to Endwalker, give or take. And like, that was a lot. And as part of the whole journey, there was kind of that baseline desire of like, oh, but what if I streamed this entire journey? I know people like that, but realizing that like 24 just cumulative days would have taken how many streams? Say I do a 6-hour stream. So I effectively, what? 4 times 24? It would have taken a half year of pure Final Fantasy XIV's streaming. And it was a fun 24 hours just for the main story. Like, it remains probably one of my favorite games of all time already. Just from, you know, what I've experienced. And it can probably only go up because it keeps getting better and better. But the idea of, like, from a content creation standpoint, trying to stream that is just like, oh god. Yeah, I never could have made it. Unless I dedicated my all to the game. Which I just, like, I'd rather have fun. Okay. So, can I get golden fertilizer? No. I'm getting close, though. Let's just grab some of that and some nuclear fuel, which I haven't really bothered with. And I probably should, but I'm still, like, pretty quick about getting all the leaves off screen. Pretty quick. Not fully. Let's see. Wander, how do you feel about the Gothic games? I don't really. I played Elex 1. I thought it was okay. I have Elex 2 that I need to do a video on, but I'm just kind of... talking about long games, I find them exhausting most of the time. A lot of games' core gameplay loop crystallizes after about the first, like, 3 hours, and then you're just doing the same thing until you're done. There are a couple of games that really like to mix it up, but most games are very much just kind of the same thing over and over, sweeping your mouse across the screen, blowing off as many leaves as you can. Adding more leaves doesn't necessarily make it spicier, it just gives you more. Which, like, there's definitely an appeal to that, and it's taking effectively the idea of a core gameplay loop and putting that at the forefront, but making it just satisfying enough to keep your interest. And that if you want to boil most games down, this is kind of what they all amount to. And I'm trying to think of where I'm going with this, because frankly, they're incomparable. The progression on this is just a little slow is the issue. Let's see, 500 leaves for the big leaf blower. Well, we're getting close to golden marketing, and the rest of this is kind of expensive. I might also want to try the golden portal once we're a little further in, just to see what coins do. But I think there's also a difference between long games for fun and long games for content creation is the other issue. That, you know, from my perspective for content creation, long games are almost inherently, grab this. Does this give me double the golden leaves? There we go. What was I going to say? Content creation, long games kind of force you to be there for as long as possible. Like I said, once again, if you want to get to the end of anything, you have to commit a lot of time to it. And maybe I'm just not the kind of person that can commit all of my content creation efforts into one game at a time. I've tried, it doesn't work. I lose interest so fast. Because variety is the spice of life for me, and I need my life to be spicy, otherwise I get bored. Let's see. Lost Ark plus drops gets you 500 to 8,000 people watching. Only if you're a top streamer and only if your audience is interested in that. There's always kind of that, gosh. If we want to talk about viewer chasing on platforms, I find it's actually not a good idea. I know there's tons of creators that will 100% do that sort of thing and do it well enough. But I know from my own perspective that chasing viewership is usually a negative thing. We'll go back to Elden Ring again, because I think it's a persistently good example to pull from, where I need some water. So once again, to talk about Elden Ring, since it came out, almost everybody I know has been streaming it. Almost every channel that I follow has streamed it over the last week or two. And the problem is, I've noticed that almost every single one of them streaming Elden Ring, they play a lot of it, but their viewership is about half what it normally is, with a couple of exceptions. If you're particularly big, it's not as much of a problem, because you can kind of just do whatever you want. But, you know, I see a number of people that might be able to get 200, 300 people watching normally. They're down to 80 or 150 or something like that. And I think a lot of it is just boils down to Elden Ring is a game where a lot of people want to experience it for themselves, so they want to stay away from spoilers. But also, I think there's kind of a very real fatigue on that kind of content, that unless you're a purist fan of the game, chances are seeing one person play it for a couple hours is usually enough. And yeah, oversaturation is a very real thing. And so when you have every single streamer streaming Elden Ring, sure, it ends up resulting in a ton of viewership on Twitch. And the couple of large channels that are streaming it, well, you know, the people that either specialize or just have tons of viewerships to begin with, it's easier because then, you know, they just have the gravity to attract viewers. But for most other people, if you're reliant on, you know, people showing up and watching, it actually tends to be a bit of an albatross. Same thing with, you know, Lost Ark, for example. A lot of people are talking about, like, streaming that is really good. And the answer is, it's very good if you're either, I mean, probably a Path of Exile streamer to begin with, or a big channel. But if you're a small guy and you're trying to grow following, picking the big game almost always is just a trap. You end up on, like, the 3rd, 4th, or 10th row or page or something like that. Nobody ever finds you down there. And so it's always nice to look at, like, you know, the big channels getting X number of viewership for streaming it, but most likely the answer is they would have gotten that anyway. One way to think of it is you're competing for the attention of viewers. Something like Elden Ring has a ton of attention available, but if everyone's splitting it, how much of a cut do you think you'll get? Yep. And so I always find it's more important, frankly, from my perspective, to just make sure YouTube is working for me. And then Twitch is just like, well, golly, I hope people are watching. Boy, my throat is super dry today. I don't know why. I've drank like 3 cups of water already. Which is why I need to pee relentlessly. Is what it is. I'm old. Let's grab a couple of trees, grab some nuclear fuel. What about over here? We have the leaf portal, some other stuff. Let's just try the leaf portal, see what it does. And I guess get as many trees and fertilizer as I can. Where's the portal? X. So I can prestige for some coins. Okay. 20 plus coins were recommended for the first prestige. So I'm actually closer than I thought. Let's prestige. Sure, let's see what happens. Oh yeah. Are we also talking about Twitch drops? Because that's a different dealio entirely. Daily rewards. Okay. We also have more achievements. Let's just claim all. Okay, and what do we have here for coins? Unlock areas. Travel to faraway places and discover new leaves. What? Neighbor's garden. Oh. Well, how many coins do I have? Because we could go to the neighbor's garden, or we could go to the mountain. Auto teleport. Auto teleport. Let's just go to the mountain and see what happens. Leaf Galaxy. Wait, we're in the Leaf Galaxy. What the... What? What? Okay. Well, let's go back here. Go back to tools. Buy the rake. What are these creatures? What do they do? Why are there creatures? What is going on? I'm also getting a couple of leaves that seem to be worth like in the hundreds. Or is it when a creature dies? I'm not sure. Oh, push leaves into them. Okay. Oh. Okay. If you kill them, they drop leaves. Good to know. Well, I guess I better just get some leaves going. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm strong enough to kill them. I think this is the thing. Whoever else was playing this had not gotten even into this bit of depth. Okay, let's just... Oh gosh, I need nuclear power bad. And some fertilizer. Okay. I don't think I can damage them yet. At least not to the extent that I need them to. What happened? Okay, maybe for now, let's go back to the neighbor's yard. Let's see if we get creatures. Because my upgrades carry over at the very least. But do I have enough for more? Yes. One printed leaf for all leaf printers. Double the resource input-output for all converters. More prestige coins in the future. Reduces the upgrade price. Oh. Okay. I'm just gonna grab the basic leaf rewards for the time being. Okay, and there's critters here too. There we go. Yeah, this is where the depth for this game comes from. I was originally kind of tepid on it, but now that I know that there's prestiging is kind of an early and often kind of deal, I can very much see why you would want to do this. There's also a coin upgrade that lets you keep your tools after. Good to know. I just don't do enough damage to these critters. Yeah, so let's stay away from that. Get Big Rake, which if I remember right, Big Rake is markedly better. Oh boy. This is more. What is lore? The mountain. I can't believe it's real. It shouldn't be real, and yet I'm here. The platinum leaves guided me here. A breadcrumb trail, a map to El Dorado, but instead of gold leaves. They lured me to the edge of the city, through the countryside, and the top of the mountains, and there I found it, a glen full of beautiful shimmering metal trees, which spawned an everlasting stream of rainbow-colored leaves. Their beauty is not their only strength. My albs continue to gain strength, push harder and longer, sometimes a fleeting thought. Why? What does it all mean? Soon the thought passes, blown away with the leaves. What the hell? What is all of this? Okay, damage is based on push strength, I'm sure. Let's grab leaf marketing. And then more. Yeah, unfortunately, I think I've got to level up a lot more before I can actually push. But I'm getting 9 per leaf here, which means I should really get those golden leaves sooner than later. I really appreciate how nonsensical. Oh, I'm also noticing I'm getting like an apple counter, but I haven't actually found anything to spend apples on. We'll see how this goes. The lore is great, it gets much weirder. Okay. Damn it. I want to just try one of these out and play it for a little bit, and then I hear that it's like, it's got so much more, and I'm like, oh, maybe I should care about this. Okay. Well, we gotta get the gold leaves first and foremost. There's nothing... Well, do I? No. Because we need more trees. The faster it spawns, the easier it is. Okay, apples are just bundles of leaves. There's upgrades that multiply it. Oh, got it. So that's probably why I'm getting the 200 or something plus apple. That makes sense. So is this weirder than Leaf Galaxy? Jesus, I have no idea, man. I'm a Borb, I've got a rake, and I'm apparently losing my mind over a quantity of leaf. And I'm apparently going to gain the power to kill birds with leaves. And I can prestige with leaves and things and stuff. What happened? I was getting bored, and then it's compelling again. I'd say strength of incremental games. You really can just, like, do whatever you want. And no one's gonna question you. But yeah, we'll probably want to get the portal not sooner than later. But getting those extra portal coins goes a long way. Unfortunately, these critters are effectively invulnerable. My leaf collection capabilities are just inferior compared to where I need it to be. Let's see, leaf marketing is kind of pricey, but not as necessary. I did get golden leaves, yeah? Yeah, I bought it. I just, for whatever reason, have yet to get a golden leaf, and I'm not sure why. Unless there's... Oh, no, there they are. I guess it just took them a little bit to spawn. Well, I mean, it certainly goes so much faster. Maybe I was just accidentally sending the golden leaves into the creatures. That would certainly contribute to their loss. Okay. Well, we are here. I've lost track of the topic I was on before I portaled, thinking like, whatever happens, happens. I think I was just talking about long games and how they trap you as a content creator. There's like a gazillion things. Let's see, I could buy the leaf blower. It's true, I could. I also get several nuclear fuel. Yeah, it's worth it. Plus, I have to work the better. I'll work on automating my, let's see. My dudes at some point. Okay, we need 10. I'll probably just spend my gold leaves on getting trees. Because we do not have enough. There they go. Let's see. If you're willing to do a long run, recommend getting 250 coins for the printers in a single go. Oh, because the printers probably just give you an automatic gain. Let's take a look at what I can get. Well, that's just printed leaf per level for all printers. Upgrade will automatically unlock leaves as they become available. Auto buy albs. That's auto buy though. Auto upgrade. Oh, just unlock printers.
Alright. I'll tell you the truth.
Leaf print machines print and collect leaves automatically. Hide it from the tax authorities. Okay. Seems useful. I might want to get a couple points into gold leaves gain. Just because. Because we are suffering from a bit of a dearth on them. And it's an issue. Okay. Well, one way or another, while this is kind of incredibly compelling, it is also a little repetitive. What I might want to do is Let's see. What I might want to do is just leave it here, do a little bit of that preliminary grinding, and if I feel like coming back for some more as part of incremental soup, I can. But I don't necessarily have to. I might want to grab the albs and just leave it running. Yeah, let's do that. Because I can at least get a couple of albs here. There.
Remember all the happy times we had?
Let's see. What else can I do? I guess I could go for the blowing. It's a hard one just to make interesting to watch. Yeah, and like I could do stream of consciousness commentary. And you hit the reason why I dropped this one. It's repetitively boring. I think the main issue is that it is predicated on me specifically interacting with it in a very repetitive sense. That if I was able to spawn a much larger Roomba army earlier, it would be less of a problem. It's not a huge one, it's just... So I think what I might want to do is just, like, come back to this in a couple hours, and then hope my Roombas have made me a decent chunk of money. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. So what was the next one I was going to check out? Well, we've got a couple. I guess I'll figure it out. Yeah, it's a slow gain, hence me suggesting the printers to speed up the early gain. I think so, but I think what I might want to do is just rely on my Roombas for even this initial section so I can just kind of chill. And go do something else instead of suffering. Let's see. It would fit in the corner of the screen when playing Incremental if it takes to your fancy. Yeah. I think if the Incremental edition is not bad, because this once again would be a great game to keep in a window. Oh, yeah, I wonder if I can put it in a window. What if I do move player? Oh, I can just turn move player off. Let's see, graphics. Can I do this? Oh boy. It gets real small if I do that. However, the one thing is, if I make it a small window, it's, you know, if I make it a window this small, it's definitely a lot easier to just sweep my cursor through occasionally. Okay. One way or another, much as I enjoy the idea of the progression system on this, the current gameplay needs to be sped up a bit, and the easiest way to do that is to rely on my Roombas. Question, can I buy a couple more Roombas? Nope, they're expensive. I'll just buy a tree, and then a fertilizer, and then I'll just come back to this later. So wait, did I not get the right-click locks player? There we go. I'm just gonna leave that there and let the Roombas go and everything. How small can you go? Shrink-a-doodle. Wow. It probably works too. I don't know. I'll have to mess with it. Because this here, I guess it's that small currently. How small can I go? Oh my god. Well, it's awful, but it works. Yep. Alright. God, yeah, and it looks like trash on your end too. Alright. I'll come back to this one later once I've done a little bit of grinding so we can actually show off how nutty it gets. For now though, we can go deeper. We can go smaller. We have the no, actually this is minimum. Oh no. I can't even tell what's going on. Oh. Okay, I'll make it just a smidge. See, now you can at least kind of tell what's going on. Okay, we're just gonna leave that there. My eyes hurt. Yeah, I love the fact that I can do that, and I love the fact that it's viable. It's amazing. But for now, let's move on to the next.